Yes, it's like. Yes, it's like.
Great. Shall we also spotlight Aniket? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us on a Saturday morning at the Consciously Positive episode of Mavin Magic. This show has been going on from what I understand, nearly 7 years, since 2017, 2018. So it's been a long time that this project has been underway. And today it is my friend Aniket Amdekar's turn on the hot seat alongside myself. This is my second time hosting Funnily Enough, where we try to mix a little bit of knowledge gathering and knowledge exchange with some games, some fun, so that we can all have a little bit of learning along with a little bit of fun at the same time. Let me quickly introduce Aniket the way he would like to be introduced, because he has so much going on for him. I like to think of Aniket, because I know him a little bit from before, I like to think of him as a samosa. There's one facet of his that is the public professional facet of his, and there are two other facets that we will be digging a little bit deeper into today, and hopefully we'll get some interesting outcomes from that, so that he can share some aspects of his character, that his personality, that he doesn't get to share otherwise. Aniket is a cybersecurity expert. He has been a cybersecurity professional since 2007. He loves investigating cyber attacks and spreading awareness about it to global audiences. He was selected by the Home Ministry for training the cyber commandos, which is one of the elite branches of the government. He has spoken on All India Radio recently, and the topic was about online safety for Indian citizens. He's a thought leader in this domain and has more than 12,000 followers on LinkedIn. Aniket is the founder and CEO of CyberCrest, a cybersecurity consulting company that helps organizations to secure their data and their networks as well. As a keynote speaker, Aniket has spoken in Miami, Singapore, and many Indian cities. He has been an active Toastmaster since 2015, and it has been a game changer for him personally and professionally. He recently completed his second DTM. He's a motivational speaker who loves to spread positivity through his stories. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the person we're going to be interacting with today, a person who takes pride in being positive and supportive and spreading good cheer. If you guys could give me 2 seconds to go open the door, because I think somebody's at the door, and be right back. I'm so sorry. Working from home has its perks. It also has a few disadvantages, like the doorbell rings at unexpected moments. So, Aniket, we like to start, funnily enough, with a little bit of a game, and I would like to play that game with you if you're willing.
Sure.
The game is very simple. I'll give you a word, a simple word that everybody knows, and you have to tell us a name of a person or any proper noun, a place, an animal, and a thing associated with that word. Are you ready? And let me start the timer, because you're going to get 30 seconds on the clock to answer this.
Name, place, animal, right?
Name, place, animal, and a thing.
Thing. Okay. Got it.
Timer. Oh, why is this saying get? I hope I can install apps on this. Oops. Oh, I guess I cannot. Why am I not able to add? Okay, fine. You know what I'll do? I'll trust you that you've spoken in 30 seconds. The word that you have to find a name, place, animal, and a thing associated with is, let's call it fan.
Fan. Okay. Great. Fan. The name that associates with this is Karan, because Karan is from Mahabharata, and he has got many fans all over the world who appreciate the good side of his personality, as well as they don't feel bad to criticize the negative things he has done as well. When I talk about fan and I look at place, then I'm reminded of the place where I was born, which is Yavatmal. It's a place closer to Nagpur in Maharashtra, and I have always felt that this place was much closer to sun as compared to other cities on this earth. because it was really, really hot and you need a fan all the time. The next thing is animal. When it comes to fan and an animal, I am reminded of those Shih Tzus, the little dog, the little puppies, because they need so much of pampering. They need their pet parents to be their fans so that they really care for them, and they are a part of their heart. And when you talk about the thing, and we are talking about the fan, that's when I am reminded of merch or merchandise. Because these days, everybody loves to print merch of their own brand and start selling it as well. So all the fans love buying merch. My daughter, who's 12 years old, she has been reading the Percy Jackson book series, and she is a fan of that right now. So we are buying all kinds of merch of Percy Jackson. And this is a big move from the Harry Potter world. And Harry Potter has a plethora of merch everywhere.
Oh my goodness. So you have an entire set of Harry Potter merchandise because she was a fan of Harry Potter. And now your house getting filled up with another set of merchandise for
Percy
Percy.
Jackson.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. And thank you for playing the game with us. It's always fun to see how people associate simple words. Like I would never have thought of Makaran when it comes to fan. So that, for example, that's pretty innovative. So tell us a bit about how you got into cybersecurity, because you've been doing this since 2007. So it must have
Yeah.
been the early days when you were starting out in cybersecurity.
Sure. I would say that when I was in when I was in Yavatmal, and at that time I have done diploma in electrical engineering, and after that you get direct second year admission to engineering. So when I applied for engineering seats, I got a seat in a really good college in Pune, and that was the VIIT Pune. When I went there, for the first 1 year, it was a complete shift of domain for me from electrical domain to computers. So everything was Greek and Latin and Chinese for the first 1 year, and I struggled a lot.
Mm.
Then in the third year, we had one professor by the name Narendra Pathak who started to explain computer networking in a really easy manner with stories, with examples from his book, his professional life. And that, for the first time, I felt connected to a subject. I used to go to the library and study about it, which I had never done in my life before. So by the end of my engineering, it was quite clear that I want to do something in networking. And security was also an interest, but wasn't really a focus area for me. My first job was in technical support. In fact, the first 7 years of my career, I was in the technical support domain, solving technical challenges, talking to customers, working on the communication skills, crisis management skills. And that's where my career started in cybersecurity. It started off as a single product, then went into another product. Then I worked with Microsoft in 2010. That's when the perspective widened a lot because the likes of NASA are using Microsoft technologies everywhere.
Mhm.
And one day when I was on a shift on a weekend, I got a call from NASA that they were having a problem with some of their equipment of Microsoft firewalls, and I had to troubleshoot. And it was a lot of pressurous situation because everybody was monitoring that ticket.
Mhm.
So that's how I got started in cybersecurity.
So I'm really curious about this, that you started off on tech support basically at the front lines of
Yeah,
interacting with customers on the technical aspects of your product. And now you're running your own company.
right.
Did you, what learnings, do you have learnings from those times when you were handling customer calls? And did it help you become a better leader and a better product thinker because you had that experience? And can you give some examples of that?
Sure, excellent question. I think it certainly helped because in the technical support roles, you get to really enhance your communication skills a lot. You get to learn about certain techniques of speaking with people. For example, one technique we were taught in Microsoft was that when you get onto a technical call and you see that your customer is completely irate, they are not listening to you at all. One technique you can use is take their name that, hey, James, listen to me. When you take somebody's name, you get their attention quickly. They calm down and they listen to you.
Right.
And that technique has been working with me. That has worked a lot for me. In terms of product design and service design, that also helped because in the technical domain, you know how things can fail.
Right.
So while you design a product, you also need to have a service along with the product to help you. In case something goes wrong, we are here to help you. And that confidence is the one that really helps people to sign the contracts with a lot more comfort. So knowing what they're thinking kind of helped in that.
And that aspect of your skill set, which is putting yourself in the customer's mind and seeing what they're seeing and experiencing what they're experiencing. Again, there's noise. I'm going to be right back after closing the door. Right. So my question was that aspect of your skill set where you're learning how to put yourself in the customer's shoes. Is that from the customer support days and tech support days?
It is from that. It is from that stage, but it is also from another stint which I had in Akamai. Akamai is a company into cloud security.
Right.
And over there, I got exposed to other kind of skills apart from technical one. That's also where I joined Toastmasters. And I used to deliver 2 days trainings to customers on site. A lot of times I was also involved in designing solutions. And while doing that, that is when I had more and more interactions with the customers, not just from the point of view of solving a point in time problem, but designing something which will work for the whole year, 2 years, 3 years. So
Nice.
designing a long-term solution and what all aspects are there to that. For example, when you design any solution, you need to know how you are solving the problem, but how are you capturing the data about it? What kind of reports are you going to get? Is there any service that can go along with this? Do you need a project manager who will be constantly in touch with the customer? So there are multiple aspects of any engagement. And I think that kind of experience also helped me as an entrepreneur. Because when I'm speaking with a new client and I know that this project is going to be there for a year, in that case, just delivering them that technical service is not enough. We need to have regular touch points with them because a lot of times on the customer side things are changing, and because of that they might say that, hey, I need to extend it by another month or shorten it by 3 months. But because you're in touch with them more and more, you know what they're going through.
So I'm going to actually jump straight into the fun part of this cybersecurity conversation, because I know people are concerned about cybersecurity. People are aware of either themselves having experienced scams or friends of theirs who've experienced scams. So what is it? What is the landscape in India right now? What is going on in the cybersecurity space? I know that you also mentioned cyber commandos have been a group called the cyber commandos have been set up. So what is
Yeah.
the Indian government doing? What are you seeing on the ground? What kind of scams are the most popular ones? And why is it that, given the digital age we live in, why is it
Yeah.
that scams still happen?
Sure. I think the age-old issues of greed, the age-old issues of over-trust, they are the main reason behind these kind of things. I have seen many people who get scammed are people who receive a call and they trust that call, or they join a solution like a Telegram, and on Telegram they get a message that, hey, if you just like a YouTube video, you get paid for it. And they also get other kinds of things as well. For example, a friend of mine who is a dentist, one of her staff, she got duped by this entire crime gang. And what they told her is that we are going to give you tickets to solve. You have to solve that ticket every day. And that solving that ticket means she has to invest 15 to 20,000 rupees. When she does that, she has to buy something. She doesn't know what she's buying. But when she does that, she will see some online dashboard getting updated. And that shows her that what she invested was 1 lakh. The value of it currently is 2,20,000. Now, this lady had a dream of buying a Royal Enfield for her son on his 18th birthday. So, without telling the family, she moved a lot of her family funds into this. And she was very happy that the funds are now growing. When the 18th birthday got closer, she wanted to withdraw the money. That's when they said that, oh, if you want to withdraw the money, you need to pay 60,000 more. She took a loan and she paid that too. And now the app stopped working.
Oh man.
And moreover, when she started to make complaints and she said, I'll go to the police, the crime people, they went to the police and filed a complaint against her that she has, she has violated the contract. And when she looked at the contract, it did say that if you do anything like this, we will file a complaint against you. So people
Hmm.
don't read this.
Hmm.
Now, they did not know what she was doing. And I was curious, what kind of ticket are you doing every day? Send me a screenshot. I was astounded to see she was doing cryptocurrency trading every day. She didn't
Oh.
even know what is cryptocurrency. Completely non-technical person.
Hmm.
So it is things like these where you trust something too much and then
Hmm.
it gets you.
So how do you fix that? Can you remove this aspect of human existence? We are a social animal. There's no way society can survive if there's not that basic level of trust between individuals. So what can you do about it? I mean, I know when you have to log into a bank account, you have to put your PIN, you have to do this, you have to do that. It
Yeah.
seems like it's not really working because even despite all these OTPs and this and that, it's not like scams have gotten down anymore. So how do you fix the trust issue? And is there a technical solution to this at all?
More than technical solution, I would say you need a security sense of it. Okay, you need to build your cyber sense. What I mean by that is you need to never trust, always verify. If this lady, the moment she got into this and she got this offer, instead of trusting what they're saying, you should take that, go to Google and search that company's name. Are there any other companies who do something like this? Verify it from at least 2 to 3 different sources. And when you do that, you will immediately come to know that it is not true. In fact, I got an attempt on me as well on something similar. It was not me, it was my wife. She continued to receive messages on LinkedIn saying that we have a passive income earning opportunity for you. Initially, she ignored, but after 5 to 6 times, she also got interested that, hey, looks like I just have to like a YouTube video and I get paid for it. So I said, okay. I was still having the cyber sense, and she too. We both got into it. We spoke with the person as well. They explained the things really well. And she sent an email. When she sent the mail, I picked up the domain name and I went to Google and I said, is this domain legitimate? Is this YouTube getting paid for YouTube liking? Is it good? And immediately we were showered with links which says fake, scam, it steals your money. Don't do this.
Hmm.
Because initially they will pay you 5,000, 6,000. Then they will ask you to pay them money.
Hmm.
And the moment we saw that, we stepped back. So never trust, always verify.
Okay. And I mean, from a product perspective, I think Truecaller has been pretty useful in at least getting that first level of checking done. Some person calling me,
Yeah.
is this so do you see anything? What else can people start using on their phones in their verification algorithm that they run in their head? Like you can check Truecaller. What else? You can check Google. Is there anything else that you can suggest?
See, the thing is, you need to, I mean, see, technical things will always fall short. Wherever there is the number can have a reputation. There is a website can have a reputation. If there is an app, before you download the app, you need to check in the Play Store what kind of reviews are there, what kind of ratings are there, how many people have downloaded that app.
Hmm.
Because apps can also get you hacked as well. For example, my father-in-law, um, he wanted to call an airline for a refund. And while he was trying to find that airline's number, he went to Google. He did the Google. The first result he got was from Quora. He went and found that number. He called that number. That person said, yeah, yeah, I'm from this airline. And in order to process the refund, I'm sending you a link on your SMS. Install this app, and this app will help you to get a refund. Actually, that app was the hacking app, with the help of which they got hold of his mobile phone, they could read his OTPs, and immediately they started to move his funds. Now, thankfully, he is really aware of these kind of things as well. The moment he got the first message that 60,000 rupees had been removed, he called the bank immediately and froze the accounts. Even during that process, they did 2 more transactions. This is
Hmm.
also where I want to share, and everybody, please listen to this very carefully. First 24 hours after any kind of a fraudulent transactions are the most important, because you can do a control Z or an undo very quickly and easily as well. You need two things to be done. Number one, you have to go to the cyber police station and file a complaint, a written complaint with all the details. You need to preserve screenshots of your transactions. Who contacted you? You need to capture their phone number in a screenshot. Now that you have done this, you take this written copy and you go to your bank on the same day. And you give this written copy to the bank and say, hey, this has been the fraudulent transaction. I would like you to reverse this. The bank will not accept your query unless you have a cyber police complaint acknowledgement with you. So if you do these two things within 24 hours, they have the ability to reverse the transaction. What happens after 24 hours? After 24 hours, what happens is there is a process called reconciliation. Let's say I send money to Sai. Then my bank will have 1,000 rupees less. His bank will have 1,000 rupees more. Every 24 hours, the banks will compare records and say that, yeah, this matches, this transaction matches. When they are doing this checking, at that time, if there is any transaction which has been flagged as a red or a fraud or a crime, they have the ability to hold that transaction and then they can reverse it very quickly.
Now, I want to interrupt you right now because this has happened to people I know, that they've lost money and they've gone to the cyber police. And this was a few years ago, so maybe things have gotten better. But is 24 hours a realistic amount of time? Because first of all, you might not be in a city which has easy access to a cyber police station.
Yeah. Yeah.
Second, the calling up the bank, if it happens at, say, late in the afternoon, the bank customer support might not be available for whatever reason. So a lot of things can play into eating up those 24 hours that are available to you to fix the problem. Do you think that this thing actually works? Do you know examples of, like, okay, over the past 100 events like this, in 70% of the cases, we are able to stop the event or stop the scam from proceeding? Or what are the numbers on this? And what are the actual data on this?
Actual data, this is where I will cite the example of the Cyber Commandos. Now, let me talk about that program a little bit. So, Cyber Commandos is an initiative by the Home Ministry. That is where they are training 5,000 police officers to be cyber security experts. And this is where cyber security experts like me will go there, we'll train them for a week. And I think it's more like a 8 months intense program on this training. And it consisted of people from CRPF, from Mumbai Police. We had people from the Kashmir Police. So there were police officers, there were military personnel from all over India, and the best of the best who had been chosen specifically for this. Now, I had a lot of interaction with the people from the Maharashtra police. They told me that they see these kind of scams every day. People losing 3 crores and 4 crores. But whoever is able to go and report it in a very timely manner within 24 hours, they are able to get a good portion of their money back. And it is coming from the people who work on this domain all the time. They said it works. Now, I don't think there's a lot of published data about this yet. Maybe I can look for it, but it is possible. Now, why it is possible is this 24 hours process between the banks of reconciliation. This is well known. It happens globally across all the banks. And that is the logical bridge for this entire argument. So I know that it could be difficult to find the bank's people. It could be difficult to get that police complaint done. But then you are the one whose money has been lost. So it is you who has to follow up on it, and make sure things get done within that window.
Since I have a little bit of knowledge about this, I'm going to ask you this question. When you say 24 hours, do you literally mean 24 hours? Say my event happens, my scam happens now at, say, 8:30 in the morning. So do you mean have 24 hours until 8:30 tomorrow morning? Or do you mean I'll have from now until midnight, because midnight is roughly around the time when reconciliations happen? So is it truly 24 hours from the moment of the scam, or is it 24, basically until midnight of that day?
No, it is 24-hour window. So if it's 7 p.m. today to 7 p.m. tomorrow. On the weekends, I'm not sure whether it happens on the weekend or not, the reconciliation process, but it is a 24 hours process there. At the max, it could be stretched to 48 hours, but the chances reduce. But yeah, 24 to 48 hours is the window which we can consider.
So would that would mean that banks are reconciling on a continuing basis? Because if it's 24 hours from the moment of the scam, it means that it's not that banks do a reconciliation only say 2 hours in the night. They are reconciling every, I guess, every hour or something. Is that how it is?
No, but what I heard or what I've known so far is it happens. I mean, it's such a huge process, right? If you look at any one bank, HDFC, it has got crores of accounts and they are doing hundreds of crores of transactions every day. So those many transactions getting reconciliated, I'm sure it takes time. So it might have its own window that it starts at this time and it goes on till this time. But moving the technical things aside, we should look at it from our point of view. What the banks do, let them do that. From our point of view, the timing is the most critical. Think of it more like somebody who has been gravely injured and you have to take them to the hospital. You treat it like that, and you have to find that hospital, which is your cyber police station nearby. It is your bank. Now, this is also where things can get a little murky sometimes. Let's say I'm traveling and I'm in Gujarat and my account is in Bangalore. So, will the Gujarat Cyber Police take my complaint? Do I have to come to Bangalore and do the complaint? That is still an area which has to be found out. Maybe you may have to come and do it here. I'm not sure, but I think that's also an area that you should think about. But let's also think preventive. We are doing a lot of discussion on the incident response that happens when the damage is already done. What are the things you can do so that this doesn't even happen to you, right? Number one, your all the apps that you have on your phone, make sure that all those apps are verified apps. You don't install any new app. Don't install any app which is not coming to you from a Play Store. In Android and in Apple iOS as well, you have got the official stores from where you download an app, right? Why is it the case that we trust that store? Because if I want to upload my app over there, those people will do a lot of verification and confirm it is not a virus, which is why the cyber criminals cannot have their apps in the Play Store and the App Store, which is why they have to give you a separate link that go here and download it from a different place. The moment somebody is bypassing that process, that means something is wrong. Don't do that.
Right.
That's number one. Number two is making sure that you have got the two-factor authentication set up everywhere on your email IDs, on your social media, also on your banking. Well, banking has already made it mandatory for everybody, but still. And the third is not having the same password. I know it's a very cliched line, but it is the most easiest. Because if one of your password leaks, it should not lead to somebody gaining access to your entire life, right? And that has happened to people as well, where because of one password getting compromised, somebody was able to access their Facebook and take over Facebook. Do the same thing for Instagram because of, guess what? This person had the same password everywhere.
Or I'm actually going to jump back to incident response in a way, maybe not at the individual level, but at the institutional level.
Sure.
You talked about cyber commandos and you've talked about that, but there's also news that there are call centers and entire organizations operating abroad targeting Indian customers for scams. But I believe they even abduct or they force Indian nationals to leave India, go to say Thailand or countries in the Far East, set up their call center, be part of the call center. So what is the institutional response to this? I mean, the cyber commandos obviously are a start, but 5,000 sounds like a very small number. And secondly, when it comes to say shutting down those businesses which operate on the idea that Indian account holders and Indian money can be easily stolen.
Yeah.
Is there anything happening on that space?
Yeah, it is. It does happen that whenever there is an international crime gang who is operating and doing something like this, that is when we have an entity called as CERT, Computer Emergency Response Team of India. CERT keeps monitoring all these things really well. And wherever we have extradition possible, they will work with the local government and make things happen. See, there are two ways of blocking something. One, you block it at your own doorstep, where you block their IP address, You block their domain name. None of your employees will be able to visit that website ever. You can ensure that. Second is you actually take them down. And for that, you need a much bigger force. For example, in India, the police are doing this all the time, where they will capture the criminals who have been doing these entire fake factories. So, did you know that this thing called disinformation? Have you heard this word before? Disinformation. So, disinformation is when you are spreading fake information about something, and a disinformation campaign is when the criminals actually have got 1,000 phones, all of them put into charging. Every phone has two to three SIM cards, two SIM cards at least. Each of the SIM card has got access to hundreds of social media accounts. Okay, and they're all working like a single machine. So if I want to spread a news that Modi ji's health is critical, I'm just going to spread that news in one blog, give it to my network. All of these compromised social media accounts will now start doing a repost of the same information in different ways. And once 5,000 people start talking about it, it has a ripple effect of its own.
Hang on. So basically, you're saying that our lives are basically governed by, say, handful, 5,000, 7,000 people, 7,000 accounts talking about a certain topic, and that's what we see now. Is that what you're saying?
No, that doesn't happen all the time, but it is being done on a very specific purpose at a very specific time. When people are more vulnerable, if you see when Operation Sindoor happened, what happened then? Everybody was hungry for information. At that time, people are not trying to verify each and everything. If something happens now when there is peacetime, people will put their cyber sense ahead, and they would try to verify that information. But when something like a sensational thing is going on, and now you start putting something, let's say you are going to get benefited if people start dumping the stocks of a specific company, and you start sharing bad information about that company for the last 48 hours. In that case, there will be some amount of people who will start believing you and start dumping the share.
So
Or
what is it that, I mean, this all sounds like something
James Bond.
against. You cannot save yourself. So what is it that, say, cyber scams are not just happening with, say, the less educated or the less aware, they're happening to the wealthiest people, the most aware people.
Yeah,
It seems like it's an unsolvable problem as such.
you're right.
Have you, over the past 5 years, 10 years of your experience, have you seen the numbers go down? Are they increasing? What is the trajectory of the types of scams people falling for? Are people having to do more sophisticated scams just to get the same output? So I'm really curious about what is it that can be done. It sounds like you can't do anything about it. Because
You can. There's a very simple fundamental principle to it. And the principle is, if something is too good to be true, it is not. If somebody says, 25 दिन में paisa double, as we heard in Hera Fairy 2, that your money is going to be doubled in 25 days, it's not going to happen. If somebody says, just by, second principle is, whenever you are getting money by not doing anything, most likely it is not a right thing. Okay, where somebody says, you pay me money, I will do something and I'll come back to you and I'll give you more money. In that case, you are not really doing anything. You are simply paying somebody money and hoping for a bigger return. Most of these cases, it's not going to work. So if something is too good to be true, don't believe it.
but how too good to be true is also subjective. And for me, something like somebody says to me, I'll give you 1,000 rupees just to go like a YouTube video. That does not sound too good to be true. I mean, it sounds like YouTube likes are, or social media, what's it called? Clout, or that attention that you give to something.
Yeah.
That is a valuable thing in itself. So I can convince myself that, you know what, it makes sense that I should be getting paid to like YouTube videos.
But that scale is very small. The criminals that we are talking about, the wealthy people that you spoke about who lose crores of rupees, what are they doing? They are falling for something which is too good to be true. And this is also where there is another thing we usually talk about. There is a triangle of malice. Okay, triangle of malice. It's called fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. When these three or any one of these is very big, that is when people don't really think very logically. Like if you take example of COVID-19, COVID-19, everybody was looking for an oxygen cylinder. And when somebody contacts you saying that, hey, I can get you an oxygen cylinder, I can get you a bed in a hospital if you pay me this much money, people did that. You must have heard very recently, I mean, these days, one kind of crime which is growing is the digital arrest. Right? You must have heard about that. So digital arrest is what? Fear. You get a call saying that um, your Aadhaar card and PAN card are being used for doing illegal transactions. People are selling weapons in the name of Sai Ramachandran. And your name is like a big crime lord in the underworld. And I'm calling you from the police. And now we are putting you on the digital arrest. From now on, you don't leave the room. You always stay in front of the camera. And from now on, I need you to surrender your phone. I need you to install this app that I'm sending you. I'm going to monitor your thing. And what do people do here? Over trust. If somebody says they are a police officer, and what do they do to convince people? They will be wearing a uniform. In the background, they will actually have a police ka logo. The setup will look like it's a police station. If you look at the language, most of these people are from Pakistan and Bangladesh. And they have got that accent of Pakistani, Punjabi, Hindi that also leaks a lot of time. But people don't pay attention to these kind of red flags. So, I mean, again, digital arrest is something people did not know about initially. One case comes to mind just now. A friend of mine who lives in India, works in India, his parents are in Dubai. His parents were at home and they were not calling him and they were not responding to his calls for 48 hours. He got really worried because of some work. He could not go there. So he called up a friend of his in Dubai. Can you please go and check on my parents if everything is okay? When he went there, they opened the door like this, like really afraid. And he had to convince them to get inside the house. And that's when he found they were under a digital arrest. They had already paid some 40 lakh rupees to those criminals. And they said, if you tell anybody, we will kill your son. We know where he works in India. And the moment they took son's name, fear came into picture, uncertainty came into picture, and they just gave away all of their logical validation. So they sat there in front of the camera for 48 hours.
All right. So we're going to do one thing. We're going to take a detour into something a little less scary,
It's
little
going to be
less fear-inducing, and little. What's the last word? Disinformation, fear, uncertainty, and what was the last?
doubt.
Doubt. I'm going to move away from all that into something a little more fun. But before we do that, I really want to thank you for the time you took. And if anybody has any questions in the audience, feel free to jump in and ask, because the cybersecurity and how it can impact us. And we didn't actually cover cybersecurity at the industrial and corporate level, but maybe some other time we can talk about that. I want to switch to something that is, I know, very close to your heart. You do sessions, you take trainings, you teach people how to tell stories, and you also talk about the Mahabharata, the Bhagavad Gita and the Mahabharata. So which of these would you like to cover next, and what can we know, where can we learn more about these things that you do?
Sure. I think teaching Bhagavad Gita is something which is very close to my heart. I have been studying Gita for a long time now, and studying because my journey initially was very slow. I was looking at just understanding the meaning of the shloka. Now, Bhagavad Gita is like a formula, okay? And just like in a formula, the moment one variable changes, the output changes. Very similarly, in Bhagavad Gita as well, when I asked a question, I found an answer when I was 20 years old. When I was 30 years old, my questions changed. But the same Bhagavad Gita was able to give me answers as well. When I'm 40 years old, now the questions have changed completely. And even now, I continue to get answers from Bhagavad Gita. So, Gita is something which is a relentless source of positivity, inspiration, and it tells you what to do next, how to stay motivated no matter what happens. So, that's something that's very close to my heart.
Isn't that also an item of, I guess, not questioning, but an item where you need to if there is every sentence in the Gita has its own interpretation given your life situation. You said, when I was 20, I was getting answers from the Gita. When I was 30, I was getting answers from the Gita. When I was 40, I'm getting answers from the Gita. It basically means that the content is unchanged. You are changing.
Yes.
Because the content of the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita is not changing. You are changing. If there is no certainty if there's no like, yes, this is right and this is wrong, and it's in the Bhagavad Gita itself, and you are being asked to apply your own thoughts to it, your own morals to it, your own interpretation of life to it, in order to get an answer from it, then it clearly means that I can justify my crimes from the Gita. You can justify your goodness from the Gita as well. I mean, that's what I'm going to start with that. Like, it might be a questionable take on this, but if I would look at it and say, if I'm a criminal, if I'm a cyber criminal, for example, I'm like stealing money from people, I can also say, well, Bhagavad Gita says that do your duty, and my duty is to support my family, and the way I'm doing it is through cybercrime.
Right.
My duty is to protect my family, and I'm going to do it by defending against cybercrime. So, given this context of anything, nothing is set, everything is justifiable using the same text. Where does it leave us? Where does it leave us as a society?
No, the thing is, that's also where, while interpreting Gita is something that everybody tries to do, misinterpreting Gita is something that a lot of people do as well. And that is where it becomes a justification. Where in Gita, Krishna tells you about different kinds of karmas that you have to do in the third chapter, which is called Karma Yoga. In Karma Yoga, he tells you a lot of things where he tells you what kind of karmas you should do. So there are the karmas that come to you because you are somebody who is in that profession. Let's say, as you said, you are a cyber criminal. In that case, that is not your profession. You were not designed to become a criminal. You're not trained to become a criminal since your childhood. It was somewhere where you took a wrong choice, and now you started to take money from others and started to justify that. This is also where there is kamya karma, there is vihit karma. Vihit karma, kamya karma, there are different kinds of karmas. And when you really go through the meanings, now you will know that, hey, this is not the kind of karma I should be doing.
Okay, listen, I get it that there is all the answers there in Gita. I would like to stick to cyber criminals. Where if I am a cyber criminal and I come to you, listen, I'm doing this thing and I think the Gita allows me to do it because I'm doing it to support my family. And you are a teacher. Your teachings are based on the Bhagavad Gita. What is it you're going to say to me which will convince me that what I'm doing is actually wrong? But forget about all the different types of karma. I don't want to hear that because it's too technical and I don't get it. I'm not a Sanskrit speaker. So tell me today that you are a cyber criminal. I've come to you for guidance because I feel that my actions are justified by the Gita.
Yeah. So at this point of time, I'm going to talk about looking at the work that you're doing and what are you trying to gain out of it, right? What are you going to do? Why are you doing what you're doing? Getting at the core of the why is everything at it. Then when we look at the perspective of Bhagavad Gita on that, this is where there are different ways of doing bhakti of the God, right? Now, why is somebody doing this? Because they want to take care of their family. Well, they could have done that by doing the right things as well. Now, what are the ways of doing right things? This is what Gita will tell you. What are the ways of still supporting your family without having to do a lot of these bad things? And history gives us a lot of good examples of this as well. The person who wrote the Ramayana was also a criminal at one point of time. He was the Valya who used to cut the people's thumbs and wear that around his neck as a necklace until he met Narada, who came and he told him, why don't you like to kill people, right? Why don't you keep saying Mara, 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 Mara? And he sat one place and he kept chanting Mara, 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 and that became Rama, 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 Rama. And that's when he was transformed into a Valmiki, who then went ahead and wrote the epic Ramayana. So the transformations are possible. We have seen transformations among a lot of people, but transformations don't happen over a single conversation. They happen when you hear about something. So there are three phases of knowing anything new. Okay. Because if somebody who is a complete non-religious person and I want them to read Bhagavad Gita, it's not going to be there because they like me. It's not going to be a motivation enough. So there are three levels in which anyone does that. Number one is introduction. That's where we come up with stories and storytelling. This is something I love to do. The next level is the study. Now that you have heard a lot of Ramayana, you have heard a lot about Bhagavad Gita, now you open Bhagavad Gita for the first time. You try to read through the shlokas. Oh, it seems very difficult. Ashochanam, Ashochanstua, Pradnya, Vadanscha, Bhashasa. Oh my God, how am I going to pronounce these difficult words? Then you get a meter. Ashochanam, Ashonchastva, Pradnya, Vadanscha, Bhashasa. Now it sounds melodious. Now you want to sing along with it. Once you have got the lyrics with you, now you want to know, hey, what is the meaning of this, by the way? Let me go and read through that. Now,
So
one,
wait,
just a couple of points and I will stop after that. One is sometimes you can read the meaning, but like I said, Gita has been written in a formula. Okay, it is sutratmak, and which is why you need a good guru to teach you the hidden meanings behind each of those. Once you have understood, still it is karma yoga. Just reading good books does you nothing. You will still be a fat person if you don't work out. Which is why the ultimate aim of Gita is to implement those things in your life. And initially, it might seem like, hey, this is an idealist world. How can I do this in my life? But Krishna also explains to you everything in a really simple manner, great manner. Towards the end, he says, you know what? You try to implement this in your life. At the end of the day, all the karmas that you have done, you submit them to me. All the phala that is coming, you submit them to me. Everything that you do it for me. And I will take care of you, everything. I will take care of everything for you. And this is also where in one of the adhyayas he also talks about it. Yoga kshemam vahamyaham. I will take care of their yoga. I will take care of their kshama, and I will do the vahamyaham. I will carry them like a baby throughout their entire life. I will be the invisible force supporting them, guiding them, giving them warmth. If you do the right things, I will be always beside you.
that is exactly what I wanted to ask you. What is it that is right? I mean, me stealing or not cyber crimes, fine. Me doing that, how is it any different from, say, a mining company strip mining an entire mountain and ripping apart a mountain from and leveling a mountain and taking out ores and using that and polluting the roads and polluting the rivers and everything? Where is the both sound wrong? Stealing from a person versus stealing from the environment, both sound wrong, but they're both being done. Nobody's questioning. They are questioning at some level the mining company, but there is a
See, you need to look at it from what is ideal and what is it that you are doing. Ideal is the Indian Penal Code, which tells you all the wrong things which are mentioned in the law book. You do any of that, you are breaking the law, you can go to the jail. And now you know that it is wrong and still you are doing it. That means it is not the right karma. Now,
So
what is the right thing you can do? Yeah.
in the battle of the Mahabharata, killing somebody after dusk or killing somebody through subterfuge is also wrong.
Yes.
Those actions were taken, those choices were made, and it was justified as by saying, oh, God is on our side, so we can do it. It's not, I mean, that sounds like it's a questionable, right there. There is a question of, it is known to us that killing somebody after dusk is against the rules of war. It is known to us that saying that your son is dead and demoralizing an opponent and then killing him by lying is also wrong. And yet those actions were done and it was justified. We won the war.
That is half information. That's half information. You are right that some people were killed beyond the disk, but it was not done by the Pandavas from whose side God was fighting. It was done by the Kauravas. In fact, at the end of the war, when the sons of Pandavas have been killed and now they have captured the culprit, they bring the culprit in front of the mother of those sons. Okay, and even at that time, The mother says, no, he is the son of our guru. And according to dharma, you should not kill the son of our guru. He's also a Brahmin. So we cannot kill a Brahmin, which is why they don't kill him. They injure him for life. I'm talking about Ashwatthama here. So they injure him for life and they still let him go because they were on the path of dharma. They never violated any of the rules which was set up at the beginning. So that
We're
is
gonna
certainly.
we're gonna leave this conversation at that because I think there's a lot we can keep talking about, and I want to get to the third facet of your samosa. To go back to that
I've got green chutney with me.
green chutney. So the third aspect of yours, of what you love to do, is storytelling.
Yes.
And unless anybody has a question for you at this moment, I'd love to take this moment and ask you to tell us a story from whichever part of your life that you love. Please tell us a story and entertain us for the next few minutes, after which our time with each other will be coming to an end.
Sure. Thank you. So storytelling has been a passion for me. It started off with my daughter when she asked me to tell her stories when I was trying to put her to sleep when she was 4 years old. And that's when I started to weave some stories and use my Toastmaster skills. But later on, it became more of a fascination. All right. The story that I'm going to share with you today is the story of one of the most, I would not call him beloved, but one of the most controversial characters of Mahabharata. And let's talk about him for the next 5 to 6 minutes. The story begins with a marriage proposal. And actually, the story begins with the Kundali. Everybody knows Kundali. When the new child is born, the Jyotishi comes at your home and he creates the Kundali for your child and tells you what is the future of this child. When this little girl was born, she was the princess of Gandhar. The fortune teller, the Guruji came home reading her Kundali during the Jata Karma Vidhi. He told her that her husband is going to die. The moment she marries, her husband is going to die. And now that stain was with her, and now she has come to an age. She needs to be married. She is getting proposals from really auspicious people all over the world. But the father is confused what to do. Finally, someone offers a hack. And the hack or the shortcut is we marry her to a goat and we slaughter the goat. Nobody will come to know about it. And they do that in a very secret manner. Then the girl gets married to the king of Hastinapur, Dhritarashtra. All right. Now Gandhari becomes the wife of Dhritarashtra. She is the daughter of the king Gandhar. He has got 100 sons with him. Now, as we know, going ahead, in Hastinapur, we've got Kauravas and we've got Pandavas who are always at quarrels with each other. In one such quarrel, Bhima teases Duryodhana as the son of a widow. And Duryodhana really takes an offense. How dare you call me the son of a widow? Look at my father, he's still there. He says, no, you don't know anything. You are a son of a widow. And now Duryodhan is really, really angry and anxious and curious at the same time. He sends spies to Gandhar. Now, the moment he is doing that, he also goes and asks Bhishma if this is true. Bhishma says, I am not aware of anything like this. And if Bhishma says something, everybody will accept it. So Duryodhana took him for his word, but he still sent his spies. Now, when Bhishma heard this from Duryodhana, Bhishma also had his suspicions. He sent his own spies to Gandhar, and they both came back with the same information that what was said is actually true. Now, the king of Gandhar receives a really royal invite, a golden invitation that he and his 100 sons should come to Hastinapur and enjoy our hospitality. But when they arrive at Hastinapur, they are not welcomed inside the main city. Instead, there's a huge palace built outside the city for them. When they go to the palace, they see there are no servants over there. And there was just one message, please wait till evening, Bhishma will come and meet you. So while they are waiting and waiting and waiting, now the light has completely faded. There were no lights in that palace. It was just, imagine a huge dark palace the 101 people, 100 sons and the king Gandhar, waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, they hear the hooves coming. The Ratha of Bhishma arrives. Bhishma gets down from the Ratha holding a mashal in his hand. With a really stern expression on his face, he enters. That's not how you welcome a royal family. But that's how Bhishma enters that dark palace. And he announces to the king that you have tricked us. You did not tell us about the first marriage of your daughter, and which is why I'm here to punish you. Now, because you are my guest, you are an Atithi, I must feed you. I cannot kill an Atithi and I cannot keep an Atithi hungry as per the rules. Which is why every day I'm going to send you one thali of food. And that's it. And Bhishma goes back. After he goes back, all of these people have a meeting and they agree that only one person will receive this food every day. For the next 60 days, the 99 sons die. On this last day, it's only the king Gandhar and his remaining son. Only the two of them are left. And the son is always questioning, why am I the only one having food? Nobody else is having food. He was also getting education on the different kinds of tricks in the politics. On the last day, his father says, I'm going to die today. And I know that once I'm dead, in order to do my last rites, Bhishma will have to let you go. But here is what I want you to do. I want you to never forget what happened between these walls. And I want you to take the revenge on the kingdom of Hastinapur. I want you to take down this entire family of the Kauravas. And he says, sure, father, I will do that. Now, the moment he promises this and he turns around, his father kicks him really hard in the knee. And he breaks the knee of this child, of this young boy. He's now really quivering with pain and asks him, Father, why did you do this? He says, once you leave this palace, your sister Gandhari will shower you with gifts and good hospitality. Among these comforts, you should not forget who you are. What's your mission? Now, that truly happens. The father dies that day. The son comes out. He does the last rites. But with the bones of his father, he creates the dices that are always with him. And I'm sure everyone in the audience must have guessed who I'm talking about. I'm talking about Shakuni. And that's why he was the way he was. That's why those dices always listened to him. Whatever he wants, the same numbers came. And then this negativity spread like a wildfire in the entire Hastinapur.
Wow. This is the second time I'm hearing the story from you, and I'm getting the same energy and vibe from you that I got the first time. Amazing story. And thank you for sharing that story with us. You are a natural born storyteller as well. Do you, by any chance, conduct any sessions on the Mahabharata and on storytelling? I think you must be doing something like that, right? And
yeah, I do. I conduct sessions on Mahabharata as a storytelling, and I do it in person because in person is the best way to do it. And I do it online as well. So the in-person sessions are going to happen in July in HSR layout, and I have planned a few sessions as well. I'll share that information with you.
And I believe you're also starting a podcast which deals with the same topic, Mahabharata. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Sure. I'm starting a podcast called Govind the Gita, where I'm going to explain the meaning of Gita and a lot of interesting facets about Gita and individual shlokas. And that's going to be launched in the next 15 days.
Oh, amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know where to find Aniket. He's going to be on a podcast coming to a device near you. But make sure that the app that you're using to listen to the podcast is one of the approved apps in that app store. Don't use an app that Aniket sends to you privately and says, please listen to a podcast on this app. So thank you so much, Aniket, for the time you spent with us. I know it's a little bit ahead of time. It's 9:01. I really appreciate the effort you took in teaching us about cybersecurity, telling us your views on the Mahabharata and the impact it has had on you and how it can be interpreted in social settings and everyday life today. And finally, the story of Shakuni, which I had not known about until recently when I heard it from you for the first time. And I wanted to make sure that the audience also gets to hear the same story from you, from the horse's mouth, so to speak. If anybody has any questions or any requests for Aniket, please go ahead and ask. Otherwise, I think I'm going to maybe wait for a couple of seconds to see if anybody has any questions. If not, I think it's time to wind up. Anybody has any thoughts or ideas to share with Aniket? Or
Yes.
go ahead, Prem.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Saiti. It was an amazing session. I joined late and I'm definitely going to catch up with it. But I'm really blessed that I was able to listen to the stories that you shared. Thank you so much. I have no questions. I don't have anything to say over here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. Prem, did you want to say something?
Yes, very interesting to come to this event today. I'm a former police officer, and I used to attend a lot of postmortems. So the pathologist asked me, "Why is your face here every time? Where are the others?" I said, "Ma'am, what can I do? They have so many reasons and excuses." She says, "Why don't you do something else?" I said, "What do you mean, ma'am? You've been trained to kill. You are a cop. You also can be trained to heal, yeah?" That resonated with me. Then I was grappling with myself. Karma, I'm a cop. I'm supposed to eradicate crime.
Yeah.
Now, why not I embark on healing? So the perspectives today with Aniket and you, Sai, I was resonated very well with me. I'm 67. This is resonating very positively for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Talking about the perspective, when a cop kills a terrorist, it's karma. When a terrorist kills any kind of a civilian, that's a crime.
So, Prem, did you say you're a prison officer? Is that what you said?
Actually, I was a senior police officer in Malaysia.
Okay.
And I did all kinds of, all kinds of tasks. Basically, I was a soccer ball. Wherever they needed me, they'll kick me there. So I get the job done.
That itself is a fascinating story. We should probably get you on this platform one day and for you to tell stories about your time as a police officer. That'll be fun to listen to. If nobody else has any thoughts to share,
I think Rajin wants to share something.
Oh, please go ahead. Of course, just unmute yourself or turn on your video.
Basically, you guys are my inspiration because I run a podcast way before you guys, called Rajwin and Warren. Very well spoken, very well said. I look forward to being a guest with you on the show. See how I'm a laughter therapist, and sometimes there's a lot of emotions coming off when I make people happy. Yeah, I'm a trainer with Mavin as well, and very well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajwin, for sharing your thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's 9:05. The Saturday is calling to you. You can have the rest of the day back to you. Shavana, thank you for giving both Aniket and myself this little platform to share and discuss
Thank
these
you
ideas.
so much for sharing. It was really wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So should I end this meeting then?
Yeah, definitely. And see you all.
Have a great day, everyone.